Donald Trump's latest press conference in New York, which he held to appeal his defamation verdict and deny new allegations against him, may have been the most damaging yet to his campaign. Now, I was going to air other clips from yesterday's dumpster fire of a New York Economic Club conference where Donald Trump failed to deliver a single policy answer without speaking in gibberish, as Mark Cuban called it. But this morning's Trainwreck takes the cake for what I believe was the worst presser of his candidacy. However, before we dive into that, we just found out that Judge Merchan has delayed Trump's sentencing hearing until after the election. It was originally scheduled for September 18th, but has now been pushed to November 26th. In his ruling, the judge said he wants to, quote, avoid any appearance that the proceeding will seek to affect the election. I'm not gonna lie, I dislike this ruling. I want Trump to go to prison for the crimes he committed now, not later, as justice delayed is justice denied. But instead of complaining about it, let's just confront the reality like warriors and accept the fact that we're going to have to beat Donald Trump the old-fashioned way at the ballot box, which I don't think we'll have any trouble doing, especially after today's disastrous conference. So, to kick us off, here's the adjudicated rapist attacking his victim, E. Jean Carroll, once again, claiming he has no idea who she is.
And before I start, I have no idea who this woman is. They have a picture from, they say, about 40 years ago, a picture, and the picture depicts her and her husband on a celebrity line where I was the celebrity. I've been a celebrity for a long time.
Congratulations, Donald. You were a big celebrity who just admitted that you met E. Jean Carroll in the same sentence you started by claiming you never met Carroll. And speaking of that photo, here he was suggesting that the photo of them together, which he just confessed to being present at, was AI generated.
I never met the woman other than this picture, which could have been AI generated, I don't know.
Nice try, bro, but artificial intelligence wasn't invented until years after you bankrupted several casinos, not during your reign in the 90s as a charlatan and failed businessman. And to dig his hole deeper, he then went on a tangent about Law and Order, a show he should really watch more often to learn more about Law and Order, to falsely accuse Carroll of making up her story from an episode of the hit TV series, which, of course, is another defamatory statement.
And I hope Democrat-appointed judges can see a scam like this, where somebody just makes up a story, probably out of Law and Order. I don't know, she made it up out of somewhere, but check out the Law and Order episode that we're talking about. Make up a story, and I end up getting sued. And by the way, the punishment is like $89 million.
Actually, it could be much higher than $89 million should Carroll's attorney file a subsequent lawsuit, which she would easily win by using that clip as evidence. So not only did the predator defame E. Jean Carroll several times over, a plaintiff he has already lost 2 defamation lawsuits to, but a new female victim has leveled similar allegations against Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, being Donald Trump, didn't waste any time going after her as well in one of the most shockingly offensive comments of the year.
So think of the impracticality of this. I'm famous. I'm in a plane. People are coming into the plane. And I'm looking at a woman and I grab her and I start kissing her and making out with her. What are the chances of that happening? What are the chances? And frankly, I know you're going to say it's a terrible thing to say, but it couldn't have happened. It didn't happen. And she would not have been the chosen one. She would not have been the chosen one.
You just heard the Republican Party's presidential nominee imply that this woman wasn't attractive enough for him to have assaulted her. And I'm sorry, but getting assaulted on a plane by a spray-tanned white supremacist doesn't make being the chosen one sound all that much fun. All right, let's pause and take inventory of what we just heard. The convicted felon and adjudicated rapist who has already lost 8 figures in defamation bills, just went on to defame not one, but two women in the same conference, both of whom now have ample evidence to take him to court. But the repeat offender didn't stop there. He then goes on to admit that he got intimate with this woman on the plane in a disgusting segment I wish my ears could unhear, but instead I want you guys to hear it too so we can commiserate together.
There were two witnesses. One is a woman who's followed me for years. She said in 1979 I was in an airplane with her, commercial flight, and we became very intimate. I just sat down. I think I had the book, The Art of the Deal. I was famous then, too. I've been famous for a long time.
First of all, yuck. And secondly, it sounds like Trump just admitted that he, quote-unquote, did things with her on the plane, which makes her allegations a lot more credible considering the fact that a modern-day court has confirmed he similarly assaulted Carroll in a department store at around the same time. I wonder what Melania thinks about all of this. Anyhow, Donald Trump closed out this conference by commenting on the new indictments against two Russian media employees who turned out to be funneling money into an American media company called Tenet, which was paying several MAGA influencers to parrot Kremlin talking points. And by commenting on it, I meant Trump rambled and tried to distance himself from the story.
And yesterday they're bringing up Russia again, that they've done for years. Never found anything. But they should be looking at China.
China. You mean the country where you held a secret bank account and paid more income taxes than you did in America while you were president? By the way, saying the country's name 3 times won't make us forget how you solicited Russia's aid in the 2016 election when you asked them to find Hillary Clinton's emails, which turned out to be a bunch of nothing burgers, or how you still refuse to condemn Putin for invading Ukraine, and how you plan to hand Ukraine to Russia on a silver platter should you be given a second term. But with the way things are going, a second term is looking about as unlikely as this defamation lawsuit appeals success. The judge has him dead to mountains of evidence, including from this conference if he needs it. And the more Donald Trump talks, the more he alienates voters, and I really don't think he did himself any favors with the female vote during this one. 60 days out from the election, and heck, let's let Trump keep speaking his way into another general election loss. And after the election, let's get that prison sentence hearing going, Judge Merchan. Thank you guys for listening to today's episode of the Gen Z Perspective. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the show and give us a 5-star review on Apple, because as you can see, the MAGA lunatics have bombarded the podcast with 0-star reviews. I think we're worth a little more than that, but I also think it shows you how terrified they are of our generation. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time on the Gen Z Perspective. The Gen Z Perspectives theme song was created and produced by Pokari.